Not sure how to save money on anything? Or is everything just too expensive? As a below poverty line individual, I get it. There are things I can teach you and ways to save money differently. So if that interests you, stay tuned. Welcome to my home and let's see what I am doing. Hey, banana. Hey guys, today in my kitchen I am gonna show you how to make a simple naan bread done in the oven so it's nice and quick and easy, perfect for any saucy dish. I hope you come on in. Welcome to my kitchen and let's see what I am baking. You will need salt, bread flour, and some water. So let's get cooking. So for a single recipe, you're gonna want to do about 2 cups of bread flour. You can also substitute that for all-purpose flour, but I'm just making this a bit more fancy in my opinion. But I am doubling, so I'm gonna do 4 cups of flour to make several naan breads. You'll see how I make it once I go to form them. And don't worry about the flour you get on the counter, you know why? That's why. And now I'm gonna add roughly half a spoonful of salt to this. And I'm gonna start by adding roughly 1 cup of water. We'll see where that gets me. If you are doing a single recipe, you would need a quarter spoonful of salt. And then maybe half a cup of water. We'll see here in a second though how this winds up coming together. I might need about another half a cup. For you, you would just need an additional quarter cup if you're doing 2 cups of flour. And just keep bringing that together. And once everything gets a little bit moist, you can put it out on your counter and start kneading it. You don't need to knead it a lot, and you can always do this in a stand mixer, but I am just doing mine by hand. Looks like mine is looking good, so I am going to go ahead and dump this out and just knead it for a second on a floured surface too, by the way. I'll see you back here once this forms. You can tell it comes together nicely when it's just soft, and you can kind of see that the cracks have disappeared for the most part in here. Now I am just going to roll this out, and I'll show you how big we're going to roll it in a second here. So here you can kind of see I have a nice large baking sheet. I would say it's about 11 by 20, somewhere around there. So that is how big I'm going to roll mine out. But first I am going to line it with parchment paper. And if you're doing a half batch, you might want a smaller pan, or you can do it on the same size pan and just not fill the whole thing. I'll show you how big this will get once I roll it out in a second here, so I'll get working on that. In general, you want your naan bread to be about a half a centimeter thick, and that's kind of what I am going for here. You'll see how big that is with my 4 cups of flour. It'll be smaller if you're only using 2 cups of flour and less water and less salt that I've outlined in this video. And I'll see you back here in a second. The best part about naan bread is you don't have to worry what shape it is, because it's kind of supposed to be like in an odd shape. So that's what I like about naan bread. I don't make it too often, but when I do, I really enjoy the results. So you can see how thin I've rolled these. If you see my hand here, it's about halfway up my fingers, and I have really thin fingers too, so that's about how high you want it to be. So as for right now, it is your choice whether you would want to cut these into shapes, but I am simply happy just throwing it on like it's a big old naan bread and baking it in the oven like this just to make it a bit easier. But you can do it in smaller shapes. You would just reduce the cooking time a bit just to be safe. And yeah, another helpful hint I can give you is in order to clean off your countertop, take like a bench scrape. It's the best tool that you can use for this. I'm not sure if you can use something else, but I take a bench scrape and gently start to scrape the flour off. That way, when I go to clean this with water, I don't have a bunch of flour sticking to my counter. While I have my flour out, I'm simply gonna feed my sourdough starter. It's not needed in this recipe, but I was curious to see if any of you would want me to show you how to make a really good sourdough starter. Mine turned out so nicely that I'm actually really impressed with it. So let me know if you want me to make that in a future video, just the starter, not any baking. And now that I have my naan bread rolled out, it's time to get baking it. So I am simply gonna preheat my oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And once that comes to temperature, I am just gonna throw it into the oven for about 5 to 10 minutes. While that goes, and this is optional, you can either wait till it comes out of the oven and brush it with some butter, or you can even flavor the butter. What I am gonna do is a bit of garlic powder, about a teaspoon, some Italian seasoning. I know that's not traditional in Indian cooking, but it's what I'm doing. And then a little bit of salt, just to kind of bring it all together. And I am gonna melt this in my microwave. It is that simple.
Ding ding dong!
And you can tell it's done once it starts to get nice and golden like that and puffy. Now immediately brush this with your melted butter mix. Again, completely optional, but I like doing either a little bit of butter, but I love garlic, so I also love doing like a garlic herb seasoning, just to kind of give it that flavor. And by the way, if you want to make this ahead of time, you totally can. I just wouldn't add the butter mixture as of yet. I would do that when I defrost it and essentially go to use it for curry or whatever you choose to use it for. And that is my simple naan bread. So simple, so easy. You'll be glad you made this. Also, to serve, you would want to chop these either into individual pieces for whoever wants a piece, or you can simply cut it into pieces and freeze it for a later date. I am going to give this a try in 1 second here, and I'll let you know how it is. By the way, for the butter, I used about a 1/4 cup of butter, but if you're just doing half the recipe, so 2 cups of flour, you would just do 1/8 of a cup of butter and sprinkle in some garlic and Italian seasoning. I would do about half a teaspoon of garlic powder and about the same of Italian seasoning. And this particular portion, if you're doing 4 cups, it's best to be served in about 12 slices. And if you're doing half the recipe, it's best for about 6 slices. Now let's see how it is. You can see that nice pocket in there. That's so good. I like that I added salt to the butter. It gives it that nice flavor of salt, but you can tell there's garlic and Italian seasoning in here too. I highly recommend it. Couldn't be any better, and go make this. What more can I say? And I also forgot to say, for the butter, I used about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and you would half that to about 1/8 of a teaspoon if you were having the recipe, just on a final note. Editing me here for the butter at the end, which I don't list in the ingredients. You would also want to do unsalted butter or margarine and just salt it yourself. That's very important. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed my content here today, liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing helps my channel go so far, and I appreciate those that do. See you next time. Banana!